What's up, everybody? Hard Money Bankers live today, and we have our daily guest. And as you know, we've gone around the nation over the past 3 months and invited top performers around the nation to get their perspective on their local markets. And today I'm joined with actually our second Florida person in Boca Raton, which is, if you're anywhere in the country, you've heard Boca Raton in Florida, right? So, but joined with can I say what the new announcement is, or the announcement coming up about?
Yeah.
Okay. So soon to be announced, top 100 of the top 1,000 realtors in the nation. So Marcy, I don't want to butcher your last name.
Javor. It's okay.
Javor. Okay. I was going to say Javor. I wasn't sure. I didn't. Luxury real estate, Javor sounded, I don't know. So, but regardless, I knew when we, touch base with the other individual that we had in Florida that we were dealing with. She's in Bonita, I believe. Your experience down there from what's happened in COVID is totally different than what's happened up here. So we went out, we found you. We have somebody that's going to potentially very much produce over $100 million in sales this year, and which gives an incredible view of somebody watching this. Well, this will go out to over 100,000 people.
Oh, wow.
It's kind of said and done. So yeah, so and they're all over the country, but you're used to that, right? Like you have clients from all over the country.
Yes.
That's what your stuff is. So can you tell us your history and in a short timeline, how you got to where you are? And let's talk about that.
Well, I was originally in commodities in Chicago for about 25 years. I traded short-term vehicles, S&P bonds and currencies. After Too Big to Fail happened, things were, not the same. So I wanted to find a new way to do business and change my career. I didn't know what that was going to be at the time. But I actually bumped into somebody who was really upset at a gas station. Who was an old friend of mine. And I sat down and talked to her, what turned out to be like a 3-hour conversation about how she was getting divorced and moving and didn't know anything about the real estate market or actually anything about anything because her husband always took care of everything. So I sat down and I realized that there was a niche for somebody to help people in real estate that didn't really know what to do after they were divorced or really what to do in general. So I actually helped her and in turn ended up getting my license and selling her a home and then helping her not just with real estate, but just in general with everything. So that's the difference. People don't really realize real estate is not just schlepping people around, which is what I thought when I first got into the business. Schlepping people around and just, here to buy a house. There's so much more. We wear like 10 different hats. And so I kind of found that out as I was helping her and really enjoyed what I was doing and became a real estate agent about 5 years ago.
I always find that with people we've had on here, you get so much satisfaction inside. Real estate happens to be the vehicle that ends up fulfilling the need of whatever that may be. Maybe you have a need that fulfills like helping people. Maybe it's whatever it may be. It's just like the widget, right? That it fulfills that need. And then it makes them very passionate about using real estate as that vehicle. So there's a big gap here in the story. How did you go from 0 to top 100 realtors in the nation? That doesn't happen because
no.
That happened through tremendous grit and drive.
Yes. You know what, if you're going to do something, do it 100%, which is what I've always believed. No matter what I do it all 100%, 24/7. As I was learning the business, my first year, I, found my niche. Most people will just become a buyer's agent or a seller's agent. I worked my way up by, becoming a buyer's agent and then getting listings and then in that listings, getting other buyers. And it just became a spiral effect. But most realtors in the industry, will just do a little bit of one thing. I, listen, and I kind of listen to all the top producing agents out there and brokers, and I kind of did a little bit of everything. And I found over time, I just, found the best way to do me, and that was to advertise, market, postcards, social media. I mean, I do everything, and I work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. so basically over the first year I did 20 million. And then the next year I did 40 million. And then after that I did 60 million. And every year I try to top myself. So last year I did, as you know, 80 million. And this year I'm in line to do over 100 million. And honestly, everybody asks me how I do what I do. And the truth of the matter is that, you know, I've been a salesperson all my life, but it's not really just about sales. It's about listening to what somebody wants, not trying to sell them something, but trying to help them. So I'm actually doing something like that right now. Somebody's trying to move into Royal Palm. They want to be able to find something that's not on the market. So I literally knock on doors and find that. And then that seller turns into a new buyer. And, you know, it becomes like a big spiral, you know, and everybody.
So that's interesting you said that. So Bonita's not in your backyard, is it? I don't know if Florida's. Okay, so
No.
I can say that. I can say
4 hours away, I think.
Okay, perfect. So it's not in your competing area. I didn't want to. So
No.
the lady, though, it's funny you just said that. The lady that we had on, who's also a high producer in that area, said the exact same thing you just said about listening to people. And I think that goes out the, you know, a lot of people don't grasp that because, you know, once you inflict yourself into a scenario, it's like only your perspective then, right? And you were a commodities trader. So your whole job as a commodities trader was to understand the outside perspective other than yourself.
Correct.
Right? Because if you just trade from your own eyeballs, the market will take you. So the same thing with real estate, right? So, and I think people underestimate, like, it's not about what you want. You just happen to get what you want after you've listened to somebody. And that's,
no, it's not about you at all. As a matter of fact, you know, my background, I'm not used to listening and being, you know, there for something for 3 months straight or whatever, how much time. You just really have to focus on listening and then finding what they want. If you listen to what they want and you really go out there and try and find it, and you work at it, and you don't just, you know, throw some. I mean, I can't tell you how many times realtors will say, "Oh, well, they said they wanted a condo, $2 million, and but I'm gonna sell them a $1 million condo because it's mine, or I'm gonna try and flip them into something." No, you literally have to listen to what somebody wants, and if you really listen, sometimes the sellers and the buyers don't even really know what they want, but if you listen, and eventually you'll find what they want, not try and convince them into buying something else. It reminds me actually when I was a shoe salesman, one of my first jobs, I was taught you don't just bring out a 6 when somebody asks for a 6 in a black. You bring out 7 different colors and 7 different pairs of shoes, 6, 6.5, 7. You don't just come out and say, I don't have that shoe. You bring out a bunch of choices. And then, you know, if they can't fit into that 1 6 that they like, they have other choices. So that's kind of what I do. I never just show somebody one house or one condo. I'm constantly putting together a portfolio, and then I take them out and I help them find exactly what they're looking for.
You know what? So with the amount of volume you do and the amount of units you do, I know you have a much higher price point than most other places in the nation. Like, you know, $1 million listings are likely very common for you. But nonetheless, when you're still doing, let's say it's 100 units at $100 million, I'm just using an average price point. You don't have to say the exact amount of units. It's still a lot of transactions. So, you know, if your forte is sales, that means you have a very strong back office, right? So you've been able to put people around you to support maybe the things that you're not, you know, your skill sets aren't suited for, which is how you build a really good operation, right?
Well, to backstep a little bit, I actually don't just do 100 million. I mean, a million or 5 million or 12 million like you see here. I mean, I'm doing those now, but my first 60 or 70 million consisted of $300,000 properties, $1 million properties, $5 million properties. Yeah. My largest sale is 10 million right now, believe it or not. I've never sold anything. Well, no, 13 million for a commercial property, but I mean, I do everything. I look at somebody who's a $300,000 property as much as I look at a $5 million property. And that's the thing, is you never know what that person's going to turn into. And if you try to just do high end, you're going to hurt yourself, because you never, I mean, I even today, I'll go sell a $7 million property and still help somebody that's looking at 300,000. So
that amplifies the statement then, which is, so you'll deal with somebody from 100,000 to 7 million, but that also means that your average deal size and doing that many deals requires a tremendous amount of effort on the background behind you.
Now, for the first couple of years, did everything myself. And I mean everything. Now I have a fantastic broker and he's there to help me. And you really do need a broker that's supportive. I'm a partner in Signature One. I opened that up with him a few years ago, but I'm not a broker yet because I haven't had time to get my license, but I do everything. But I'm glad to have him with me. Yes, the back office is extremely important. Signature One, the Signature Real Estate companies, we have like 45 managers and back office and 24-hour help. But the first 2 years, I did all my contracts, everything myself. Now, luckily, fortunately, I'm able to have hired an assistant who helps me with all my contracts and social media and stuff like that. But I'm still up 24/7.
Yeah, I've noticed that even when people, hand things off, or I want to say hand things off isn't the right way. Allow themselves to scale personally. They become a brand, right? You're your own brand at this point. Like, I go down there, like your name. One of the individuals we have in my marketplace up in Philadelphia, his name's Mike McCann. He was the #1 Berkshire Hathaway agent, and I had him on the show. And when you're around here, it's like when you hear, it's just the Mike McCann brand. Like it didn't really, so it's the name first, and then whatever brokerage he's at, it was almost insignificant, right? And doing the volume you're doing, you have that kind of reputation you built for yourself down there. And I don't even know your market, but I know that if you're doing that kind of volume, that is the kind of reputation you've built. And do you find though that, do you like that end of it? Or do you prefer, do you mind, like, do you like having that brand? Do you ever realize, like, if you wanted to switch the name, I guess
I actually, people know my name now. It's taken me quite a while. Because I am spending quite a bit of money marketing and it never stops. You keep growing. I do have a team that works with me at Signature One. We have 11 beautiful women. No, we're not against men, but
I'm glad you brought that up, because I was literally, as I was looking through this, I go, was this by design or not by design? Because are these the women?
I did have one gentleman that worked with us. We are not anti-men. Please don't think that we are. It just so happens that we have an all-women team, and they're lovely, lovely people. And it just so happens that it turned out that way. That poor one gentleman that was with us just couldn't handle it.
It's got to be a strong atmosphere, and you got to be able to handle it, right?
Right. But these lovely ladies all do their own thing. I help them. We have weekly Zoom meetings. I try to help them like I was helped. You got to have a support system. You got to have people that help you. I have different things with different girls. Like, scaling is very difficult in this business if you don't have people that you can trust. So a few of these ladies like Lori and Helen and Sandy, and they help me, and in turn help me grow a little bit. But truth be told, my motto is actually to only take between 15 and 17 listings. It's grown a little bit. I used to take only up to 15. But I feel like the reason I've been doing as well as I have is because I know my market and I know my properties. I don't just take listings to take them. I make sure that the listings I take are just as important as the people who choose me to take their listings, because I put a lot of money behind those listings. And that's why my average is under 90 days to get a lot of these properties sold. But I really believe that it's a partnership when you're working with the seller, because you have to be comfortable with them and be able to work together to get the property sold. And if it doesn't work and you clash, it just doesn't work. So these ladies are amazing, and the brand is growing. And we're really happy to, be where we're at. We just opened an office on Palmetto Park Road, which is not easy to do because there's only like 5 offices on that street. And we're really happy. We're growing, and we'd love to have anybody that wants to come join the team. Give me a call. No, you don't have to be a woman.
Okay, that's not part of the qualification. Well, I know you have to go pretty quickly. Actually, so Lewis Hank, and I've got some potential buyers for you, and I occasionally finance. I will have, you can actually go to Signature One Luxury Estates.com, or at the end, Marcy will we'll give her contact information so you guys
Absolutely.
can. So I'd love to do this again with you as well, because I'm doing follow-ups as we go, as the market develops. Like, fortunately, here's what I've learned about everybody that's successful in the nation with this stuff. They all have common themes. They all do. It didn't really matter what obstacle you put in front of them. COVID, 2008 crash, didn't really matter. They adapt and they thrive. Like, that's the common theme. But I do like to understand how they're adapting as this evolves. So, like, it was a totally different conversation 90 days ago from where it is now. I'd love to do it again.
Honestly, it really wasn't. Truth be told, we were slower, but I still got on social media every day and put things on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram. I still sent postcards out. I was actually the only $10 million sale in the middle of COVID in May. So yeah, believe it or not, but it really was no different. I don't let excuses get in my way. If somebody says, oh, I've got this, I've got a child, I've got a boyfriend, I've got, a life, but I still, manage to get things done. My slogan literally is come to the one that gets it done, because I don't let excuses get in my way. So yes, COVID was very difficult, but we are starting to pick up. But I still made sure that I set myself up. And I actually listened to Ryan Serhant with that, because, it gave you the time to figure out what it is you couldn't do when you were that busy. And mine was to focus on getting, more stuff out there and more social media, learning more about how to, do better on that. And that's what I did. And I think it's worked out. I learned how to do more videos and virtual videos. So you just have to keep going at it. Yes, success is failure basically turned inside out. That's what I learned in high school, and I go by that theme every day of my life.
I love it. You're extreme. I mean, it doesn't really. It's not a surprise when you have this interview as to why you are where you are. Like you're calling it as it is. Like it's not a shock. This wasn't luck.
I hate that. I hate when people say you're so lucky.
Yeah, now get out of here. None of it. It's yeah. Luck has nothing to do with success. It just doesn't.
It doesn't. You just have to work hard. I mean, truthfully, that's what it is. You just have to work hard. I have a drive. I really like this business. It's very different from commodities, and I enjoy being out meeting people and learning about, new houses and new communities. But really, it's about hard work. It's not about luck. You just have to work hard at it, and you don't have to spend a ton of money either. I didn't spend a ton of money in my first couple of years in this business. I've grown to do so by expanding, but truthfully, luck has nothing to do with it. Sorry, I just laugh at that.
No, I know, and I get it. It kind of degrades the success of where you are when somebody makes that comment. They don't intentionally try to make you feel that way, but you have no idea the sweat that I've had to put in to get to this moment. But you can't, unless you've done that, you can't really expect somebody to feel that sweat either. So it's like but I get it. I get it. Well, let's do this, Marcy. I know you're on a clock because I love the fact that it was tough to schedule because you're working. Like you're getting, no, I love it. I'm like, hey, she's got showings. There's a lot of money on the line. So I'm perfect. I love it.
The phone's literally rung like 7 times since we started this. But
yeah, you thrive in that environment. I get it.
I would love to follow up with you.
Yeah. What now? Before we leave here, what's your best contact if somebody wants to? The gentleman here wanted to reach out to you. What's your contact?
Absolutely. You can reach us at signature1luxuryestates.com. We are actually revamping the website. The new website will be up today or tomorrow. It's really amazing. You can reach me at Marcy at signature1le.com, spelled out ONELE.com. You can reach me at my phone number, 561-371-5226. Those are the best 3 ways to reach me, or on LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram. Literally just put my name in Google and you will find me.
I love it. Thanks, Marcy. Good luck today on those showings.
Thank you so much.
All right, you take care.